guys, hey, how's it going? This is the Genius, and today we're going to do an autopsy on the opener. All right, guys, how you doing? This is the Genius, and this is the beginning of a first of many to come videos on what I've learned in game and some tips I can share with you guys who are trying to get good at this when it comes to meeting and dating women. So basically, over the last couple of months, I've realized that when you implement this technique, and I want to be careful about saying technique because technique is not what we're after. We're actually after a mindset, but at the same time, technique kind of makes it clear in your mind what it is you're actually doing. So technique is important. But anyways, one of the things that I've learned in this technique involves the mindset of getting physical when you open a girl. And physical game is something that one of the guys in the community from RSD teaches. His name is Ozzy. I've been following this guy. He's by far my favorite. I guess you'd say pickup coach, and he always talks about physical game and how important it is, because if you don't have physical game in your interaction, then nothing's happening. And it's so true, because ever since I've discovered this for myself, I realized that the more physicality you have in your interaction, the more receptive the girl is, the more you can get a feedback as to how much she's into you. And even if she's not into you, you'll come to find out that she can warm up to you. She can actually eventually feel comfortable with you and basically fall into your frame. So basically, learning physical game, and I'm still trying to learn it the best way I can, I realized, and this is a secret of mine that I haven't heard discussed at all in the community, but I'm going to share it with you today, and that is being physical right at the opener. And now most guys might think, well, don't we all kind of do that already? Or I never heard of that, so I don't understand exactly what you're talking about. But basically, when you go up and approach a girl, especially in a nightclub, because I really haven't experimented so much as far as day game, but I'm going to get some experiences with that. But if you're in a nightclub and you go up and you talk to a girl, because there's so much noise and so much distraction going on and so much stimulus, you almost have no choice but to touch the girl in some kind of way, whether it's on her shoulder or whether it's high-fiving her, or like Ozzy says, the claw, where you bring the girl in. Some physicality has to happen in order to get the girl's attention. And it's better, at least what I found, that it's better to do this when the girl is actually standing still. Like if she's moving, you risk a chance of more of a quick blowout, because she doesn't know who you are, or some stranger running up trying to touch her could make her react kind of crazy. So it's better to just wait till she stops, right, and then go ahead and use your physical game right off the bat when you open her. So now, that's something that Ozzy teaches, and he's so spot on about that. Now, what I've noticed even further, though, and like I said, this is a discovery of mine, is that you can get away with pretty much anything if you open with physical game. So what I mean by that, it's like, imagine back in the day when maybe you had a little sister or a niece or something like that or maybe a little cousin or something, and you were like playing with the kid, and then you pretend like you were the Cookie Monster or something like that. I mean, Cookie Monster is like my favorite character from Sesame Street, but Cookie Monster, what he does is, you know, he's after one thing, which is just cookies, right? But when he goes after his cookies, he doesn't care who's in the way. You know, it could be another character from Sesame Street or what have you. But when you're playing Cookie Monster with your niece or some kid, some little toddler or what have you, you want to, you know how you give that kid that strong eye contact, put a big smile on your face just to let the kid know that you're playing with them. But at the same time, you got your hands in the air and you got them like a claw and you're just going after them. And the kid's frightened, the kid's scared, right? So, but at the same time, the kid loves it because as soon as you grab the kid and start tickling it or what have you, the kid just like gets so excited that it runs away. But then what happens? The kid comes back and wants to play again. So basically, girls are kind of the same way. So like what I like to do is I like to go up to a girl and I like to give them a high five, right? And I open it with the high five. Sometimes I may open it with a handshake, but I like to go for the high five first because if she doesn't go for the high five, then I can immediately calibrate and then go for the handshake and then go back to the high five. But when I'm going for the high five, I've got strong eye contact, like I'm the Cookie Monster. I got my hands in the air, like I'm the Cookie Monster, or I'm like that character from that Kool-Aid commercial. And I got a big smile on my face. And basically, I just walk up to the girl, I get her attention that way. And even if she doesn't smile, or most of them will smile, and they love it because it kind of brings them back to their childhood. But once you go up there and you grab them and hold on to them too, because if they take the high five, you just hold on to their hand until they pull away. Girls love that. They might even resist. They might even try to yank their hand away, but you just hold that grip firm, but still with that smile on your face, just like you would if you were the Cookie Monster, to let them know that, hey, you know, we're just having fun here, right? So the big secret on top of this is, because most guys don't even know that part. It's not really taught in the community, except for Ozzy. But the big secret here that I found is that if you hold on to a girl, whether it's holding her hand, or you got your arm around her, or anything like that, you can basically ask the chode questions. You can go ahead and be the chode and do all the interview questions like, what's your name, where you from, how you doing, that sort of thing. And it won't matter because you're already showing dominance and you're showing confidence by holding on to her hand. And even if you give her compliments, right, which I don't recommend. Ozzy, he's got a latest post about be careful with complimenting girls too much. Even with the compliment, you can go ahead and give them if you're holding the girl's hand, right? Or if you're basically, you got her in like what the community calls a claw. So basically, I found that you can be a chode, you can ask the chode questions if you're holding the girl's hand or you got your arm around her, that sort of thing. Now, this is not good to do if you're not physical with the girl. So there might be occasions where you can't get physical with the girl. For some reason, it's not appropriate to touch her right off the bat like that, or maybe give her a high five or something. Who knows? I think you could probably go get away with a high five in any situation, even if it's a formal gathering. I really haven't tested it yet, so I can't say for sure. But if you, for whatever reason, did not open with the physical opener, then what I've discovered is you cannot ask the chode questions. You can't even say, hey, how's it going? You could, but you just risk the chances of a blowout. But in those cases, it's better to just open with statements. So, you know, you would tell a girl, I noticed this about you, or I had to come over here and say, hey, how you? I had to come over here and say hello, or I'm bored right now, so I'm just looking for someone to talk to. Anything that's self-amusing or anything that you're interested in telling her, you can do that, but it has to be said in a statement or in a rhetorical way, because you are not physically touching the girl. And this is because psychologically, if you're asking questions and you're not touching her, then you're really not offering any value. You're more or less extracting value from the interaction. And as we know in the community, that's not good. So it's better to offer value, especially if you cannot touch her appropriately in any sort of way. It's better to offer value by just basically making a statement. And that's really the big secret that I found, is that if you open with the physical game, if you open with a physical touch in some way, you can get away with all of the chilled questions like, hey, how's it going? What's your name? What do you do? Da da da, that sort of thing, because she wants to be able to answer those repetitive questions over and over again to distract her from you holding her hand or doing something physical with her. And that's just how human beings are. It's like, you know, what's the definition of boring? Or what's the definition of I don't know, unimpressed? It's basically when everything about the interaction doesn't show any boldness, doesn't show anything, doesn't show any courage, doesn't show any confidence, that there's nothing happening. Those types of interactions always tend to fizzle out because they're uninteresting. So, but if you come in bold and confident with physical game, that's all it takes to be confident. It's just you have the courage to touch her, then you can get away with all the corny verbal game that you want. And I'm going to be showing some infill videos of how I do it and demonstrating this, and I think you'll see the difference. And that's basically how I learned to open any girl pretty much anytime, anywhere, without worrying about a blowout or worrying about, oh, is this girl going to be impressed with what I'm doing, because I don't have to focus my energy on some cute verbal game. I can just focus on being physical right off the bat, and then as long as she's allowing me to do that, I can get away with being a chode, which is at this point which is what I am. So so it's all good. I think that's just one tip that I wanted to share with you guys. This is going to be my first video getting back into sharing tips. And basically, if you look at some of the earlier videos from Genius 2005 channel, I had what's called the Mack tips. So this is kind of a rebirth of all that. And basically, I think this tip is really going to help guys out there in the community who want to get good with opening hot girls. So anyways, one announcement, my new app is coming out, and it's called Express Coach. And this app is going to revolutionize coaching or virtual coaching, whether it's dating, training, fitness, that sort of thing. So I want everybody to be on the lookout for that. I want you guys to help me promote it. And I have a new Twitter account at Express Coach. So please follow me there, and you'll get the latest news and tips from me, and also news and tips about the app. So I appreciate you guys taking the time to watch this video. Please like and subscribe, and as always, keep taking action.